Welcome to Truth by Billie Beene. Today's date, March 18, 2026. Time in Texas, about 11 a.m. Some of the things we'll cover: President Trump, an epic fury. And where is Benjamin Netanyahu? And in the past 24 hours, we've had 2 U.S. military bases on lockdown. And how about a coming coup in China? So let's get started. We're going to begin with space weather. We do know March 16 we had a M class 2.7 flare that did generate a CME that's going to impact the Earth March 19 tomorrow. Now, NASA NOAA had put out that it would generate a G1, G2 class geomagnetic storm. Stephen Burns puts out that could be elevated with the CME impacting with the equinox. The equinox and the solstice occur 4 times on the Earth. That's a movement of the Earth in relation to the Sun. So late in March, we'll have an equinox, which means a tilting of the Earth on its axis in relation to the Sun. Stephen Burns believes this will juice up the CME and that it could go to a G3 or possibly higher. That's to occur March 19. So that's going on. Yeah, the equinox is a force multiplier. And we have this. We had last night. Now, we're hearing reports we had a meteor over the U.S., that it was several tons in weight. I haven't seen accurate sources yet who verify that the meteor was located on the ground and has accurately been measured. So we'll say we did have a meteor that was less than the size of a car, because NASA and NOAA can see asteroid and do track asteroids and meteors in the sky that are as big as a car or larger. And NASA and NOAA, it's coming out, do have the ability to then manipulate an incoming asteroid, a meteor, with a projectile from the Earth to alter its trajectory. So that's new information. So we did have a meteor seen in the sky. I've seen video over it. It came over Cleveland, Ohio, and the sonic boom was heard as far away as New York City. So that did happen. And we have this from a Patriot subscriber. Maybe the Ayatollah number 2 wants to move to Canada. Yeah, that could be a possibility. And we have a Patriot subscriber who says NATO has now become NINO, N-I-N-O. NATO in name only. Way to go, Patriot subscriber. And we have this. Okay, we've had 2 lockdowns in 2 different U.S. bases in the past 24 hours. Late yesterday, about 5:30 p.m., we had a shooting on Holloman Air Force Base, located in Alamo Gordo, New Mexico. And the reports from multiple credible sources is that 1 is dead and 1 was wounded. Other than that, we have no more details coming out. So this Air Force base in New Mexico late yesterday afternoon was placed on lockdown for a few hours, and now it's back to regular business. However, we're not hearing details. Who was the shooter? Who was shot dead? Who was wounded? We don't have those details yet. We are obviously in a time of war. And we have this from a joint base, McGuire, located in New Jersey. We do not, this base went on lockdown last night, and we do not know what is the status today. But it's reported from a U.S. intel source that McGuire went on a Charlie level status late yesterday, which according to the U.S. military FP-CON, this is a system that takes the place of DEF-CON. It's called FP-CON, Force Protection Condition. And I'll tell you what this, what Charlie status is. But this was following the location of 4 suspicious packages on McGuire. Immediately, the base went on Charlie status, and all essential personnel, non-essential personnel were immediately evac'd off of the base. And we have this. So we have certain levels of this FP-CON system, and a Charlie level status means that a terrorist incident or intel indicates a terrorist attack is imminent. So that's a Charlie level basis. We have not heard today what is the current status of that base, McGuire, located in New Jersey. So we have now information about what is the FP-CON system that has taken the place of the DEF-CON system. So we have normal, then we have alpha, indicating a heightened level of security. Alpha indicated an unpredicted terrorist threat. We have Bravo, indicating a predicted terrorist threat and heightened security at base gates. We have Charlie status. An incident or intel indicates a terrorist attack is imminent. And then we have Delta status. Terrorism is immediate or occurring. We also had last night U.S. embassies on a global basis given a security status upgrade by the U.S. State Department that all U.S. embassies globally are to be on heightened security. So that's going on, and we'll have to find out what's happening on McGuire today. And we have this. So we have U.S. intel presenting this information. I've put out in my previous recent videos that Benjamin Netanyahu, Ben-Gvir, Smotrich, it appears we have reports that they were hit by some type of attack by Iran. Now, one report said they were all having dinner at Benjamin Netanyahu's home in Israel, which I didn't find believable. Israel is in a state of combat. I don't believe the government leaders would have been in a private home. It appears that Iran was able to make some type of hit on a bunker believed to be located either in Israel. Well, now it appears highly likely a bunker in Israel was hit by Iran that then injured or killed Benjamin Netanyahu, Ben-Gvir, and Smotrich, and others. So we have U.S. intel presenting this, that Benjamin Netanyahu was not present in the past 24 hours for an Israeli security meeting, and that has not been seen before. Benjamin Netanyahu always is present at the Israeli security meetings. In the past 24 hours, he was absent, and that he has been absent for the past 10 cabinet meetings. Now we have new information coming out from Israeli News Live, who has a contact in Israel and in Iran. It does appear that a few days ago, Iran made a hit on Israel and did hit Benjamin Netanyahu and other cabinet members in a bunker in Israel, and that it does appear Ben-Gvir and others were killed. It appears now that Benjamin Netanyahu was also hit, and that he is in critical condition and is in a coma. So that's going on. Also being confirmed is that Ayatollah number 2 was hit February 28. His leg has been amputated. He has severe facial injuries. He was evac to Moscow, where he had emergency surgery and where he continues to reside. We do not know now if he also is in a coma or is simply in critical condition. But we can also confirm that yesterday, President Prigozhin of Iran also went to Russia, and it's believed he will not return. So we see leaders in Israel and leaders in Iran are continue to be taken down. We do know, and I pray that President Trump remains steady to finish the job that needs to be done in Iran to neutralize all the mullahs, clerics, who we understand now are all addicted to opium. So we have psychopaths juiced up with opium, and also the IRGC. This group, maybe as many as 100,000, have to be neutralized. They are psychopaths. They will not stop hitting Israel. And now they're also hitting their Gulf states neighbors with missiles because they are delusional. This group has to be neutralized in order to bring about peace for both Israel, Iran, and the Middle East in total. So President Trump remain seated in the saddle and remain steady and continue through, which must be done to not only ensure peace in the Middle East, but for the world. Now, Israeli News Live also puts forth the same as I've been doing for years. I personally believe that Iran does have nukes and that they have had nukes for decades. Israeli News Live, also, who is former CIA, also states that is his position also. So that's going on, which means this current form of government in Iran must be neutralized in order for the Middle East and global peace to occur. So that's going on. And we have this Chinese observer, Chinese intel, puts forth what I've put forth in previous videos, that it appears that Iran did have a plan. Many analysts now call this military plan a mosaic plan, where if the top leaders in Iran were taken out, that the IRGC commanders located in 31 provinces or states would begin hitting their enemies. Now, I believe this plan was put in place in 2007, and that these pre-selected targets for Iran also includes their Gulf states neighbors, with the agenda put forth by the Ayatollah for Iran to destroy Israel, Middle East countries, so that Iran could rule the Middle East, bring about World War III to bring back their Messiah figure, Mahdi. So we see Iran's military operating in the throes of a religious theocracy and an apocalyptic religious position. These individuals have to be neutralized. The U.S. now is gearing up, it appears, for a massive escalation on Iran to be in place within 7 to 10 days. We see President Trump also canceling his trip to China that was to occur March 31 to April 2, citing that the U.S. military is going to escalate its attack on Iran, as is Israel. And we know, as I put out in a previous video, Israel does not have a continuity of government plan. And I do not know what is their status. Now, it appears that Benjamin Netanyahu definitely is not able to fulfill his role as the prime minister. So what must happen is that the Israeli government, the Knesset, must select someone and vote that person in. But now I believe in Israel, in the Middle East, in the world, we are coming to grips with the fact that Benjamin Netanyahu may have passed away from yesterday. The information I'm putting out today about him being in a coma was true yesterday. So today we do know, we have multiple sources supporting the belief that Benjamin Netanyahu is not physically capable of fulfilling his role as Prime Minister of Israel. Now, I'm assuming, and Ben-Gvir, I believe, was the Minister of Defense. It's believed he was also killed, as was Smotrich, the Minister of Finance, and possibly others. We don't have names yet. But that is going on. And, of course, we see Iran without its constitutional leader, the Ayatollah number 2, who also does not appear to be able to lead Iran. So that's going on. And we have this. We have from TOUSI TV yesterday in North London, there was and we believe these protests we see in the U.S., in London, in Italy, and other nations typically are not grassroots protests by a nation's citizens, but are deep state organized and paid protest. So there was in London an anti-Jew rapper named Bob Vylan who was holding a concert. And let me comment now on England. Why in the world are you allowing a concert to take place when you know the rapper is going to put forth hate speech? Ding dong. So at any rate, there was that, and then there were paid protesters, and we understand there were arrests, and TOUSI TV had a reporter there who was also arrested, but that happened last night. So that's going on. And we have this about Iran from Alexander MERCOURIS, an UK-based journalist. Is the U.S. going to put boots on the ground to ground invade Iran? I do not believe so. And we have in Iran, we had an Israel strike that took out Larijani. He was, for all intents and purposes, the top leader of Iran. He was taken out, as was a Basij leader, General G. Soleimani. The Basij arm of the IRGC is the group that machine guns down Iranian citizens in the streets. So that happened within the past 24 hours. So that's going on. And we have this, that we have the U.S. also putting in place, once the U.S. and Israel have brought about a regime change in Iran, a transitional government to be led by Reza Pahlavi. And Reza Pahlavi has also put together his cabinet with individuals from inside the U.S. and also from Iran to bring about a transition government in Iran. And one of his cabinet, one of Reza Pahlavi's cabinet members to head up security has put forth this number, the number of Iranian citizens slaughtered in the streets of Iran by the IRGC Basij group is up to 43,000. So that's going on. And we have this. As I said, they're psychopaths. They have to be neutralized. And we have from Israeli News Live another report. Yes, Larijani and General G. Soleimani have been taken out. And that also, it's believed Ayatollah number 2 is in Moscow in critical condition from his hit February 28. And there was a heavy hit by Iran on a bunker in Tel Aviv within the past 7 to 10 days. And it's believed that's when Benjamin Netanyahu, Ben-Gvir, and Smotrich were hit, plus others. Now we're hearing this inside Iran. So we have the IRGC, Iran's military group. They have a division called Quds. They have a general named Karni, who has been arrested inside Iran for passing intel to the U.S. and Israel regarding the February 28 meeting. And other sources say this Quds General Carney has been arrested and executed inside Iran. And we have this. The U.S. is now surging 5,000 Marines, plus we're hearing from other sources, different divisions of the U.S. military. One group could be up to 20,000. There are also surging amphibious ships from Japan and South Korea, including the USS Tripoli. We do know that Laranjani and Soleimani were taken down in the past 24 hours inside Iran. And we have this, that the U.S. and Israel will continue their hits on Iran and Lebanon. So that's going on. And President Trump, NATO in name only, President Trump sees that NATO will not help the U.S. when asked. In the future, I believe the U.S. should get out of NATO. So we have that going on. We've had a hit by Iran on its Gulf state neighbor Kuwait around its LNG facilities. But we understand there was no damage. And we're hearing that ships now in the Strait of Hormuz are having to pass between two small islands close to the Iranian coast. So Iran can get a visual check on the ship or tanker to okay it, then passing out of the Strait of Hormuz, because we understand Iran is afraid to get in the Strait of Hormuz in a boat or ship, because they expect to be taken down by the U.S. So that's going on. And many speculate whether the U.S. Marines and other U.S. military forces will take Karg Island, which is about 300 miles down the Persian Gulf from the Strait of Hormuz, or whether the U.S. military will simply take control of all of the islands off of the coast of Iran, so the U.S. controls the Strait of Hormuz. We do know in the past 24 hours, the U.S. military has been intent and hot on taking out locations along this coastline of Iran. It would appear that the U.S. military may be gearing up for such a scenario as the U.S. taking control of the Strait of Hormuz. That would be a good action. And now we're hearing about deaths. Ward Carroll and Salem had a show that brought out the death numbers in certain Middle East countries and the U.S. and Israel. The U.S. military has suffered 13 deaths. Israel 15, Iran 1,500. In Lebanon, which Israel is hitting, Lebanon is a nation adjacent on the border of Israel, Lebanon. In it, the Iranian proxy Hezbollah has been bombing Israel. Israel bombs it back. In Lebanon, 850 deaths. In Jordan, where we have a U.S. military base, 28. Iraq, another U.S. military base, 29. Kuwait, 6. Oman, 3. UAE, 7. Saudi Arabia 2, Qatar 16, Bahrain 2. So we see deaths occurring in for the U.S. military, Israel, and our Middle East Gulf states. And we have this, Axios, according to Fox News, reports Iran's foreign minister has reached out to President Trump's envoy, Steve Witkoff, for a ceasefire. But the U.S. is no longer negotiating with Iran, and quite frankly, there is no leader to negotiate with in Iran. But the U.S. position, it appears, according to President Trump, the U.S. military, is to absolutely prosecute this conflict and neutralize the mullahs, clerics, ayatollahs, IRGC, and all enemies of America and Israel in Iran, and bring about a change of government. So that's going on. And President Trump has made the public statement when he brought out that he would not be visiting China at the end of March because the U.S. Military will engage in a massive escalation in Iran for the next 4 to 6 weeks. So that's going on. We have this from WERX that, WERX says his assessment is that things will be going on with U.S. military in Iran well to the end of April, and that Israel continues to hit Lebanon to take down the Iranian proxy Hezbollah. Israel also puts boots on the ground to invade Lebanon. And the U.S. is moving troops from the Pacific. We know on Japan alone, we have 23 U.S. military bases. And that the U.S. military is moving troops from the Pacific area. And we have verification that one troop ship from the Pacific area did stop in Singapore within the past 24 hours for resupply. And we have this also from WERX. The U.S. military appears to be in the process of a massive bringing together of forces, and the consolidation point appears to be in Charleston. And we have ships and activity going on at Dover Air Force Base, McGuire, Wright-Patterson, and other bases inside the U.S. that appear to be gearing up for a massive escalation in Iran. And we have this. The U.S. is surging flights. They've surged in the past 48 hours, 750 flights to Ramstein in Germany. That happened in the last 4 to 7 days. We're also surging U.S. military troops. Many they're being surged, it appears now, to Europe, which we would expect then to be dispersed to the Middle East battle stations. We have also reports of 542 refuel flights in the last 3 days. That means the U.S. military is surging many fighter jets. And we have this. We also have a hospital ship, the Mercy. It's believed also going to the Middle East. We have this. What's going on in Russia? So we have Lavrov, the head of the Russian security group, a spokesperson, saying now that Russia wants regime change in Ukraine. They want Zelensky and the current Ukraine parliament out. They want a clean sweep of that existing government. Russia is now making this objective public. And we also have this statement coming out from General Gerasimov regarding a location in Ukraine currently being hit by Russia, Konstantinka, and it's being surrounded. So it's also being put forth that Russia will take control of Kharkiv, Sumy, Odessa in the near future. And obviously, if they want a regime change and a clean sweep of the government, it appears that Russia now intends to take Kiev and install their own government. So that's going on. It's good to be in prayer for America, President Trump, the U.S. military, and world peace. I love you, and I'll see you soon.